Modern games look insane, but here's the uncomfortable truth nobody wants to admit. We're living in a time where GPU prices are exploding, storage sizes are ridiculous, and every new release somehow demands more power than ever before, yet still struggles to run smoothly. You've probably seen it yourself. Games launching with stutters, relying heavily on upscaling tricks, frame generation, and patches just to feel playable. But here's the twist. Some older games, we're talking 10+ years old, still look better, feel smoother, and run cleaner than many modern releases today. No gimmicks, no fake frames, no excuses. So today, we're diving deep into the games that absolutely humiliate modern graphics and prove that raw power isn't everything. And trust me, some of these are gonna shock you. Let's start with a game that still feels illegal to look this good. Rise, Son of Rome. Released in 2013 as an Xbox One launch title, this game had one job: show off next-gen power. And Crytek didn't just deliver, they went completely overboard. You play as Marius Titus, a Roman soldier on a revenge mission after his family is brutally murdered. The story itself is simple, almost predictable, but that's not why people still talk about this game. It's the visuals. Even today, the facial animations in Rise feel ahead of their time. You don't just see characters talk, you see emotion. Anger, pain, tension, it's all there in subtle details like eye movement and muscle shifts. And the lighting? This is where modern games often fail, because Rise is a linear experience. Every scene is handcrafted. Every shadow, every flame reflection, every ray of sunlight is placed intentionally. There's no compromise for open-world systems. And the result? A game that still looks more cinematic than many 2026 releases. Now let's talk about a game that feels expensive the moment you press start. Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. Even today, this game stands shoulder to shoulder with modern AAA titles and often beats them. What makes it special isn't just graphics, it's cohesion. The environments feel real. Not fantasy overload, not exaggerated, just grounded, believable locations. Ruins, cliffs, coastlines, everything feels like it could exist. But the real magic? How it all flows together. There are no awkward transitions, no jarring cuts. Conversations happen naturally while walking, climbing, or driving. It feels like you're part of a living story, not watching one. And visually, lighting carries the entire experience. Natural light, reflections, shadows, it's subtle, but insanely effective. Most modern games chase bigger worlds. Uncharted 4 chose better detail, and it wins. Next, a game that deserved way more respect: Sleeping Dogs. This isn't just an open-world game, it's one of the most atmospheric cities ever built in gaming. Set in Hong Kong, you play as Wei Shen, an undercover cop infiltrating the Triads. The story constantly balances tension. Are you still a cop or becoming a criminal? But let's be real. The reason this game still hits today? The vibe. Rain-soaked streets, neon lights reflecting off wet pavement, crowded markets filled with noise, steam, and movement. It feels alive. Modern cities often feel empty, just big maps with icons. Sleeping Dogs feels dense, tight, real. And the combat? Brutal martial arts instead of generic shooting, slamming enemies into objects, using the environment. It feels physical, not floaty. It's raw, and it still holds up. Now let's get into one of the most disrespectfully good-looking games ever made: Batman: Arkham Knight. This game came out in 2015, and it still embarrasses modern superhero games. The entire game takes place in a rain-soaked Gotham at night, and it looks insane. We're talking real-time rain, interacting with surfaces, reflections on wet roads, and even water dripping down Batman's suit dynamically. And here's the crazy part: as the game progresses, Batman's suit actually gets damaged. It tells a story visually. Modern games barely get basic polish right, and this game was doing dynamic wear and tear years ago. And gameplay? Seamless. No loading screens. You can glide across the city, dive into combat, jump into the Batmobile, all without interruption. This is what optimization looks like. Now let's talk about pure cinematic obsession. The Order 1886. This game is basically a playable movie, and it still looks ridiculous. Set in a dark, alternate version of Victorian London, everything is built with insane attention to detail. Fog, gas lamps, wet cobblestone streets. Every frame looks intentional. And while the gameplay is simple, the presentation carries everything. The lighting alone is better than most modern titles. Warm indoor lighting from candles, cold outdoor fog, realistic shadows. It proves something important: styles greater than scale. Now here's something different: Battlefield 1. This is what happens when realism meets chaos. Instead of futuristic weapons, this game goes back to World War I, and somehow makes it feel more intense than anything modern. The secret? Photogrammetry. reality. Real-world objects scanned into the game. That's why the mud looks real. The terrain feels real, but what truly sells it? Destruction and particles. Explosions don't just look good, they affect the battlefield. Smoke lingers. Visibility changes. The environment evolves during combat. Modern shooters feel clean. Battlefield 1 feels dirty. And that's why it works. Let's talk about something you can feel. Rise of the Tomb Raider. This game nails one thing perfectly. Cold? You actually feel the freezing environment. Snow crunches under your feet. Wind howls constantly. Lara visibly reacts to the cold. And the snow physics still better than most games today. Footprints stay. Snow builds up. Surfaces react. It's not just visual, it's immersive. Now, Max Payne 3. This is what happens when Rockstar goes all in on detail. Gunplay feels heavy. Every bullet has impact. Animations blend perfectly. And the presentation? Pure cinematic chaos. It's gritty, grounded, and raw. No fluff, no filler. Modern shooters try to be flashy. Max Payne 3 focused on feel. And it still wins. Mirror's Edge. This game proves one thing. You don't need realism to age well. The clean, minimal art style still looks fresh today. The movement system, first-person parkour, is still unmatched. Everything is designed with purpose, no clutter, no distractions, just flow. And that's why it still feels modern. Now, Final Fantasy 15. This game is messy, but visually, unreal. The road trip vibe, the lighting, the scale of summons, everything feels massive. But what stands out? The small details. Food looks real. Hair moves naturally. The world feels alive. It's not perfect, but it has soul. Metal Gear Solid V. This game is pure optimization magic. Runs at 60 FPS on almost anything, and still looks incredible. Open world stealth done right. Freedom. Creativity, no restrictions, and visually, the lighting in the desert is still top tier. Modern games are bigger, MGSV is smarter. Infamous Second Son. This game still destroys modern superhero games in one area. Effects, neon, smoke, fire, every power looks distinct and reactive. The city feels alive. Movement is smooth. It's a playground, not just a map. Detroit, Become Human. This is where graphics meet performance. Facial animations here are insane. You don't see characters, you see actors. Every expression feels real. Every decision feels heavy. It's not about gameplay, it's about immersion. Mad Max, underrated masterpiece. The desert looks stunning. The skyboxes change dynamically, but the real star? Sandstorms. They're not just visual, they're terrifying. Physics go wild. Visibility drops. It's chaos. And it's beautiful. And finally, Metro Exodus. This game pushed lighting to another level. Natural light, dynamic weather, realistic environments, it feels real. Not game-like. Bonus. Not in the list, but too good to ignore. Hellblade. Senua's Sacrifice. Pure psychological immersion. Insane facial capture. Binaural audio. And voices that feel real. The visuals aren't just good, they're emotional. Modern games chase graphics. This delivers experience. So what's the takeaway here? It's simple. Modern games aren't worse because developers forgot how to make games. They're worse because priorities changed. Bigger maps, faster releases, more monetization, less focus. These older games, they had direction, they had vision, and they had time. And that's why even today they still dominate. But here's the real question. If a 10-year-old game can still look better than a brand new release, are modern games actually evolving or just getting heavier? Subscribe for daily gaming news, and thanks for watching.